Okay, so this is my presentation. Sorry that I'm filming it on my phone. I cannot figure out how to do this thing to save the life of me. You can see I have it set up right here, and it says it's recording, but every time I try and do it, it doesn't. But anyway, I'm sorry. Okay. So this is my leader profile project by me, Wes Tucker. So who did I do this on? I did this on David Helker. He is the co-owner and founder / CEO of Helker and Crawford Construction. He is a man that I've known since I'm probably 10 years old. I grew up with his sons, and my family is very good friends with his family, and he is a great man. He went to the University of Florida. He was in the ROTC, and he is a self-made millionaire who comes from literally nothing. A little bit about the organization. Helker and Crawford Construction was founded quite some time ago, and they have grown steadily. They have had plenty of rough patches, but they're doing great now. They specialize in Nebraska Furniture Marts and CVS's. Those are their two biggest companies that they have done a lot of work for. But he also does plenty of other commercial jobs, and he does a lot of home building, home improvement, stuff like that. So, for the first slide, communication as leadership. When I was talking with him, he described his communication style as direct but grounded in respect. And this goes along with in chapter 1 when it says that communication isn't separate from leadership and that it is leadership. And David demonstrates this very well. He creates lots of clarity on every project, and he loves having input from his team, all the people that work for him and that he works with. He loves to collaborate with them. He loves to get on the same page as them, and he is really open to hearing the ideas of those who are under him. He was telling me about how early in his career he admits to simply focusing on just telling people what to do. But as time has gone on, he's shifted towards a more relational communication, listening more, asking more questions, and being able to move towards a relational leadership approach. Framing and sense making. So he was telling me about how construction brings constant challenges, stuff that he cannot control, weather delays, clientele changes, and the best thing that they can do is just keep everyone focused and controlling what they can control. This shows a lot of sense making because as a leader, it's his job to define situations for others and help them see problems as opportunities, ways they can attack these challenges head on, learn from them, grow from them, and use them toward their advantage. By reframing setbacks, he was telling me about how it keeps morale high, and make sure that everybody understands why decisions are made. This aligns perfectly with the framing theory. And this can also relate to Fairhurst framing theory and Weich's sense-making theory. Tasks versus interpersonal balance. His leadership reflects his task-orientedness and his relationship-orientedness. There are two sides, but he likes to attack them on. He really enforces deadlines and emphasizes safety protocols. That's more of his structural side. But he also loves to check in personally with his team, building that strong relationship with them, celebrating their success. And that's really, showing consideration. This balance is very important because it motivates his team and promotes cohesion within it. And this is a core concept in the behavioral approach. Power and empowerment. When asked about power, he told me that power is not a control, it's about credibility. And I was curious to that, so I asked him to elaborate a little bit more. And he basically told me that it's not necessarily about being able to tell people what to do, but it's more of people trusting you and knowing that you know what you're doing. So that way people are more naturally inclined to listen to him and to follow this. This demonstrates expert power and referent power. And by empowering his workers and the people that he works for and the people that he works with, this allows them to make their own decisions and take ownership. And he does that as well. And he loves practicing shared power. Promoting motivation and autonomy and aligning with the transformational approach. This can relate to the French and Raven's basis of power. Ethics and integrity. So one thing that he really stressed on with me is that ethics are like non-negotiables in his company. A direct quote from him is, if you wouldn't want it in your own house, don't install it in someone else's. Basically, he's not going to do a job just to do a job, just to get it done, just to get paid. He's going to do it with high ethics, high morals, and he's going to do it with a drive to ensure that his customers are as happy and as seen and as heard as possible. This really helps him a lot. He's faced plenty of situations where the right thing had costed him more in short term, but he understands that the trust and integrity built with this really contributes to his long-term success and the reputation of him and his business. And his actions with this reflect authentic leadership and ethical communication, because by doing this, he's prioritizing values over profit. But in return, this has brought him great profit. Leading teams and decision-making. So he leads multi-trade teams. They have different goals and communication styles. He loves to do like kickoff meetings or startup meetings. Just, build alignment and trust, understand that everyone's on the same page. This goes along with path goal leadership. And really just like clarifying roles and removing the barriers within the projects and the teams. So that way everybody knows like exactly who they are, what they're supposed to be doing, and their role within the team and the project. And his decision-making process reflects collaborative leadership, gathering input, analyzing long-term outcomes, and prioritizing relationships and safety. And doing this, he's, a great team leader. He uses his great decision-making skills to also empower others on his team when it comes to their own decision-making. Developing future leaders. When I was asking him about, identifying emerging leaders, people in the company that are much below him, or younger people, people in more like serving roles, he says the main thing he looked for was initiative and empathy. A quote from him that I got was, technical skills can be taught. Leadership is about attitude. You can teach somebody any sort of like skill or technique, but it comes from, within somebody, is basically how he had explained it to me. He loves to give people opportunities to lead in smaller roles. That creates high quality LMX and relationship, and it fosters growth. Because in doing this, he's putting other people in a position of power and being able to see how they take it. And those who succeed in those smaller roles will then get promoted to bigger roles. And that's how you build up within your own company. And this approach, develops other leaders through trust and respect. And this is very, very essential to transformational leadership. And some of my key takeaways on this reflection is that I learned directly that leadership isn't just theoretical. It's lived out daily through the communication, ethics, and teamwork that plays into this. And with being a student athlete and being on the football team here, that's something that I've been able to learn as well. Respect is given in a sense, but it's so much more earned, and you have to understand these very important leadership tactics and styles and understand what fits you and your personality best, and also how to elevate others around you and not necessarily just try to get everyone to do everything you say and just be your little drones. He embodies, David really embodies the relational, ethical, and transformational leadership. Because like everything that he does in his job is so important. They do these huge projects either for big name companies in big name areas, or, very high income individuals who have personal projects that they want done. and you absolutely have to understand what you're doing in these environments. And his story shows effective leadership isn't about titles, but more about earning the trust, framing a meaning, and empowering others. And those are the biggest things that I took away from this. This is my little infographic, just talking about the company and what I learned, and it says that communication emphasizes clear, honest, and frequent dialogue with employees. Ethical principles are very important to uphold integrity and fairness and following the golden rule. Within leadership, he encourages collaboration and empowering others, and through the organization, Helker and Crawford Construction, as a general contracting firm and the huge jobs that they do, it's very important for him to be a strong and competent leader, and for him to understand the things that go in with this are very important and very necessary. And in conclusion, this interview helped me a lot in seeing the way that leadership is connected directly through real work. And David's humility, consistency, and communication skill set just really taught me a lot. And I'm very thankful for him. And I'm thankful for this project being able to help me out. So thank you. Once again, I'm very sorry that I'm filming it the way I'm filming. I'm going to send you an email, hopefully, before you watch this. But I'll file everything else in there so that way you can see I did all of the work. Thank you.